I'm Joseph.
I'm Brandy.
And today what we're going to talk about is the basic manicure. The manicure is going to be your base for every nail technique that you're going to use. If you're going to do a gel manicure, you always want to make sure you start off with the manicure. If you're going to do dip nails, you still want to do a manicure. Acrylics, you still want to start off with the manicure. So it's just basically one of your essential building blocks of making sure to get the nails nice and prepped for any of these services. A manicure are also a good service to do while your clients are waiting. So if they're sitting under the dryer for a roller set, anything like that, you can pull up your manicure table and give them a nice manicure. Anytime like they're processing with color, anything like that, it's so essential that you can add this on as a add-on service for an extra anywhere from 15 to 35 bucks, depending on how much you're charging for a manicure. Things that you want to remember is the cuticles. You want to make sure that you get all that dead skin off and make the nails look all nice and pretty, because if this is the beginning of any nail service like gel nails, acrylics, anything like that, if you don't get rid of that cuticle, what you're doing is when that nail starts to grow, it's going to hurt. All that product's going to be attached to that cuticle, so when it grows, it's going to stretch that skin, things like that. So you want a nice clean base. Other than that, like I said, manicures are a good add-on service. They're easy to do, keep your nails nice and healthy, and things like that. Anything you want to add?
No.
Cool. Manicures used to be on state board. They're not anymore. Now we have to do an acrylic nail, but again, we have to learn our basic cleanup methods for that. Cool. So now we're going to demo how to do a manicure. Hello. So what we're going to do today is we're going to teach you how to do a manicure. So you're going to follow along. This is going to be on state board. If not, you just got to know it. So this is your basic manicure. I'm going to show you everything from the beginning on. All right, so step one, we're going to sanitize our table. Even though people have maybe already cleaned it, you still want to always sanitize before. So you're just going to spray our Barbicide on the table, and then you're going to wipe it all off. The next thing you're going to do is lay down one of these white nail towels. I want y'all to start utilizing these because it's going to minimize the cleaning of the table. It's going to be more sanitary, and at state board, we're going to use white towels for everything. All right. Then we're going to get a towel. It's going to stay folded, and we're going to place this right in front of our client so they have a nice little armrest to lay their hand on. Then we're going to get another towel, and we're going to lay this and drape it across the table like so. This way, if I spill any nail polish remover, any nail clippings, anything like that, they all fall on this towel, and then I can just roll everything up at the end when I'm done. Now I'm going to set up my table. You can't see it right now on camera, but we have these manicure and pedicure carts that are located in the manicure and pedicure area. So I'm going to set up my table a certain way, this way that I have all my steps and everything like that, and I don't have to worry about it during the service. So on the right side of the table, I'm going to have my nail polish remover, and then I'm going to have my cotton, and I'm going to place it together on the right side. On the left side of the table, what I'm going to place is my hand sanitizer. I'm going to have my tools. Then I'm going to have my cuticle remover. Then I'm going to have my lotion. Then my cuticle oil, and then I'm gonna have my base coat, my color coat, and then my top coat. Oh, I just hit my head on the camera. All right, so now that we have everything, I'm gonna show y'all all the basic steps. So step one, we're gonna sanitize our hands to make sure they're all nice and clean. You want to sanitize every time you touch anything. When in doubt, always sanitize. You will never get in trouble for over sanitizing. With what's going on right now with the coronavirus, everything like that, you can't sanitize enough. So even though the next step might not be sanitizing to open something, you still just want to do it just to be safe. Like I said, you're never going to get any points taken off. You're never going to get in trouble, anything like that for over sanitizing. You will get in trouble if you skip a step. So even though this whole process on paper, you might only have to sanitize your hands 3 times, you're not going to get in trouble if you sanitize your hands 33 times. So you won't ever lose points for sanitizing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt some in my client's hand and she's going to sanitize her hands. All right, so the first step, the cool thing is if you look at your table, everything's in order. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna remove polish. What do I do if my client doesn't have polish? You still do it, because what the nail polish remover is doing is removing any oils that are naturally on the fingers, everything like that. You want a nice clean slate. Technically, what the polish remover is doing is also dehydrating your nails to make them nice and clean. All right, so I have already touched my hand sanitizer, the top. So sometimes people have dirty hands when they do that. So even though I just sanitized my hands, I use the bottle to sanitize my client's hands. So I'm gonna re-sanitize my hands. Never enough. I'm gonna open up my cotton. I'm gonna take about a quarter size out. You always need to put the lid back on. Even if I'm gonna go back for more, I still want to put the lid back on. Never leave it open, because dirt, debris, everything's gonna get in there. I'm gonna get my polish remover. Starting from the pinky to the thumb, I'm gonna remove. So like she has no product on her nails, so this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Always pinky to thumb. At State Board, they're weird. They are particular at what fingers you start at. All right, so now that we did that, we're gonna open up our tools. I don't have to sanitize my hands because these are all single-use items, and my fingernail clippers are gonna go in the autoclave when we're done. So if it's a single-use item that's only going on this client, we don't have to, because this is already pre-sanitized, it's packaged, things like that. So I'm gonna take all my tools out. I'm gonna have an orange witch stick. I need my buffer. I'm gonna need my file, and I'm gonna need my fingernail clipper. These other 2 things are for pedicures, the pumice stone and the big toenail clipper, so you can put those aside to be cleaned for later, because we're not gonna use them. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim and file. So she doesn't need trimming. She was prepared and she knew that we were gonna do this. So what we're gonna do is just pretend. Again, we're gonna start with the pinky, work our way to the thumb. Cool. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna file. So looking at our files, there are 2 sides. There's the blue side and then there's the pink side. What you need to know about your file is your pink side is gonna be for your fingernails. It's less abrasive, so it's not gonna hurt. The blue side is rougher, has more grit to it, so this is gonna be for toenails because they're thicker. So you're gonna need a little more grit to help you out. So with this, we're only gonna use the pink side. Also, when we file, there is no sawing. There's no going back and forth. The way that you have to do it is you're gonna start at the corner of the finger and make a half moon shape into the middle. You can't saw back and forth like that either. So literally what you have to do is go from the corner to the middle, remove your file, and then repeat. You're gonna do that on both sides until you get the desired shape. Cool? So what we're gonna do is you get the skin, you're gonna pinch it back a little bit that exposes the corners of the fingers, and you're gonna start right here, half moon, then this side, half moon, and you're gonna repeat this process on all the fingers. Now with this client in particular, she likes her nails really short, so she cut them really short. So there's not a lot to work with. You just want to make sure that you're smoothing everything out, making everything nice and even. Because even sometimes when you trim your fingernails with a fingernail clipper, it leaves them a little jagged. All right, so I did the right hand. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have a finger bowl. It just has water and a little bit of soap in it. And what she's gonna do is put her hand in that finger bowl. You wanna do it after you file 1 finger. one hand, because what that's going to do is remove all the dust from the file, anything like that that might have happened. So while this hand is soaking, I'm going to work on this hand. This is going to get this hand enough time to soak. You don't want to do both at the same time, because if you do both at the same time, you're going to have this really awkward waiting period where she has both hands in the bowl and she's just kind of staring at you. So to avoid all of that, have this hand soaking while you work on the other hand. So this is also going to buy you some time. So she'll have enough time to soak. If you're a bougie, you can put other things in your bowl. You can put like scented essential oils in there. You could put rose water. If they have really calloused hands, you could put Epsom salt, rose petals if you want to pop the question, champagne if they're a drunk, really whatever. Today we treated her and just used water. Alright, so then we're going to switch the bowl. This bowl is going to come over here so that hand can soak. We're going to get this hand. We're going to use the corner of our towels to dry off her hand. And now what we're going to do is our cuticle work. So we're going to get our cuticle remover. This cap should never touch her nail. It should never touch her skin. So what I'm going to do is stay about a ½ inch away from her physical hand and drop a little on each finger. It's very runny, but it does the job. You'll see in a minute. It's not watered down. It's just literally the consistency of the product. What we're gonna do now is rub it in each finger. We're gonna get our orange wood stick, and then we're gonna push back the cuticles. So you can see that it has a point on each side. I wanna use these points to clean the inside of the nails. We're really gonna try to remove that cuticle. This is really good cuticle remover. You can see that it's already taking off the dead skin. You can wipe it on the towel. Don't be scared to push back the cuticle. All the cuticle is dead skin. If your client is saying, ouch, and this hurts, then you're pushing on the epithelium, which is the lying, living skin. So, like I said, even though that cuticle remover looked cheap and watery, it does the job. It removes all the cuticles. This is gonna give you a nice clean base. So when we start painting the nails, it'll be nice and smooth. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing on this hand. We can get this bowl out of the way. Clean off the hand. Add my cuticle remover. Massage it in. If they have really bad cuticles, which she doesn't, but let's say they're like me and they have some meaty cuticles, the metal pusher will take that right off. So we have several metal pushers in the back. You just have to get it out of the supply room, but those will literally destroy all those cuticles. It'll come off just like butter. Typically people have drier skin during the winter time, so their cuticles are way worse. So like I said, if you get to that point, the metal one will literally take them all off. But you gotta be careful because it'll cut you. Sorry. Alright, next we want to do is buff them. So again, starting at the pinky, we're going to buff the top of the nail. This is going to get any bumps and ridges out that they may have. We get ridges because of several things. It could be medication, it could be she stumped her nail, it could be uneven growth pattern, blood problems, or it could just be they bumpy. This is great for men who you're not going to use polish on because it buffs the nails and makes it look nice and shiny and it's all natural. They sell other buffers, like 4-way buffers, that will actually add shine to it. If you're interested, like if you have clients that are into it. But these buffers do the job pretty well. We're gonna polish over hers so we don't have to worry about making it high shine. Buffers help out in a lot of ways. Like she had a weird yellow tint from polish over on this nail. Now it's all gone. So buffers are cool. Now we're gonna use cuticle oil. Same thing, this dropper should never, ever, ever touch your client's skin. You wanna stay a couple of inches away. We're just gonna put 1 drop on each nail. We're gonna rub it in. All right, now we're gonna get our lotion. Do you wanna remove your rings? Are you good?
I'm fine.
Just a little bit goes a long way. In experience, if you use too much lotion, then it gets messy and it gets sloppy and it's awkward. So I always emulsify it a little bit in my hands first. And then what we're gonna do is rub it in all over the hand. We're gonna give a slight hand massage. This goes back on like how much money do you wanna make, like a tip. Old ladies love this. If you're a girl, men love this because they're getting human touch. So if you do something sloppy, just like, I mean, they're just gonna be like, cool. This is your chance to make your money. So you wanna massage the bottom of the hand. You wanna make sure you're getting the top. You wanna make sure any pressure points, rubbing that product in. We're not gonna go mega ham on this massage only because I don't think y'all wanna watch a 30-minute video of me massaging April's hand. But that's up to y'all. If you're into that, message me, OnlyFans. You can go up the arm. The only thing is you can't go past the elbow. So even though your client might be like, do it, don't do it, you're gonna get in trouble. So only up to the elbow. We'll learn about that in the manicure chapter. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sanitize our hands again. You wanna sanitize your hands anytime you open up the cotton. We're gonna take another quarter piece, and what we're gonna do is get polish remover. This is gonna remove any oil from the lotion. If we just go polishing on top of this lotion, it's not gonna stick or adhere because it's too greasy. So this is gonna soak up all that oil from that lotion, the cuticle oil, everything that we used. So if your client's complaining a lot that their polish doesn't stick, you might be because you're skipping this step. All right, now what we're gonna do is polish. We're gonna start off with our base coat. Give me a minute, my hands are oily. All right, so when we polish our nails, how we wanna do this is this one's gonna be different. Everything we've been working from the pinky to the thumb, but this time what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our thumb, our pinky, and then our middle fingers. The reason why is if we start with the pinky first, when we do our thumb, she has to turn her hand like this, and because of that towel, it's gonna ruin this pinky nail. So if we do the thumb first, then make our way to the pinky, the thumb is already flat. So you wanna get as close as you can to that cuticle. I like to pinch the skin around that nail so you can get the edges of the nail, because we've all been there where we try to polish our nails and we leave them as is. And then we notice that we didn't get those side walls. You only need a little bit of base coat. What the base coat's job is a base coat actually is tacky. It's not supposed to be smooth, because what this is doing is giving it a tacky effect so that the polish will adhere to it better. So sometimes when you polish just on your natural nail, it has a tendency of not sticking because your natural nail produces a lot of oil. Yeah, you're good. She caught me slipping. If you get a little on the skin, you can always clean it up with your fingernail. With nail polish, you don't have to worry about the cleanup till afterwards. So if you are like me, you have a tendency of being a little dirty, the cleanup is the last step. You don't want to clean up as you go because you're wasting time. So you can clean up at the end. I'll show you how. All right. So now we're gonna polish her nails. We're using white. Pray for us. The thing with light colors is sometimes they're not as pigmented as darker colors. So with light colors, you might have a tendency of having to do multiple coats. State board, you only do 2 coats. So pick a color that's pigmented enough that after 2 coats, you did a good job. Because if you do more than 2 coats, then you lost, if that makes any sense. So with base coat, it doesn't have to dry all the way because we want it to be sticky so it can adhere better. So a trick that I learned, when you get your polish out, you don't want to be draggy, like going back and forth, taking off all that color. So what you want to do is get it nice and liquefied, bounce it back and forth gently, and then scrape off one side, and that should be enough product. You don't want it droopy that it's going to melt all over the place, and you don't want it not enough on there that you're going to have to always be dipping. We're going to start in the middle. Again, we're going to try to get as close as we can to the cuticle. When I start, I press down gently, and then when I start going down the nail, I'm going to add a little more pressure to fan out those hairs of the brush. When I do the sides, I'm going to draw the letter C. Get as close as you can to that cuticle. Do the same thing on the other side. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna fast forward me painting all the nails. So we're gonna do our thing, And then when I play this video, it'll just be fast forward. So you'll see the end result of all the polishes. We're gonna do 2 coats. So I'm gonna do the same thing on every nail twice. So you'll see me in the fast forward. So just do that, cool? Welcome back. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna clean them before we put the top coat on. So here's the cool thing, if you're not a great painter like me, so if we zoom in, I have a lot on the cuticle. Like for the most part, they look passable if you're far away, like a Monet, kind of like that girl in high school. From far away, she looks really good, but up close, you're like, what? Same thing with these nails. I mean, even these nails, they look so good far away, but up close, you're just like, haha. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sanitize our hands. You're gonna get a tiny piece of cotton. When I say tiny, I mean itty bitty. Like even this is way too much, because what you need to understand is you need to use the edges of your stick, okay? So if you have too much cotton on there, like a Q-tip, it's not gonna do the job. So what you do is you're gonna put it on like a fan. You're gonna twist it real tight. You just want it to lightly cover it. I like to twist, 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 twist until it's nice and tight right here. And then what you're gonna do, oh, I forgot to put the lid back on. is you're gonna use your nail polish remover, soak up that stick, and using the corner of your stick, you're gonna clean around the nails. Be careful because it is nail polish. It'll come right off with polish remover. So if you mess up and you get too close, you will actually remove the polish from the nail. All right, so we did a cleanup. Like I said, you don't have to be like super anal because most of this is gonna come off with like washing the hands. It's not permanent on skin because there's a lot of oil. So now what we're gonna do is a top coat. And we're just gonna place this right on top. Avi, it's called the top coat. So again, with our thumb, you don't need to cake it on or it's gonna take forever to dry. This is gonna try to prevent chipping. If your client is complaining a lot about chipping, all of that, like it doesn't never last. Like me personally, I have really greasy fingernails. Like I produce a lot of oil because I'm Mexican and I eat tacos. So I found out like using gel polish works better for me. That way it lasts a little longer, about 2-4 weeks, depending on how much they cured it. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. I mean, you have natural oils from your nails. There's dip nails. There's other alternatives to make things last. Acrylics is like the last stop. But that is up to you and your client. This is gonna be just a basic manicure. So she has to be careful because if she uses polish remover, anything like that, it won't come right off. All right, so now that she's gonna dry, the manicure is done. So I'm gonna teach you how to clean up really quick, all right? So we don't have to sanitize our nail polishes because they're already self-sanitizing. So that's the reason why we're allowed to use the brushes on every single client and we don't have to sanitize our brush over and over. I'm gonna put you on pause because the phone's ringing. So we're gonna take everything off the table, put it back where it belongs. Make sure the lids are all put on properly. All right, so our tools, these are all disposable right here. So our buffer, our file, and our orange wood stick. I always break my orange wood stick so people know not to reuse that it's trash. My fingernail clipper needs to go back into the sanitizer so it could be properly sanitized in the autoclave. And then for our towels, what we're gonna do is the water that was in our water bowl, we're gonna pour right here on the cushion. You wanna go slowly, because obviously if you just pour it all in there, it's gonna go all over the place. This way the towel will absorb all that water, so you don't have to go to the sink and clean and do all of that. You fold up your towels to go in the laundry and or trash. And then finally what you wanna do is you wanna get your barber side and you want to properly clean off your countertop. So that is how you do your basic manicure. Thank you for paying attention, and I'll see you at pedicures.